Hi there. This is Subbu. Welcome to new video series. Okay. In this video, we are going to cover what is on demanding the differences between on pay as you go model and free trial subscription. So whenever we create a free trial subscription on Azure, whenever you create a pay as you go subscription, what are the major differences you will see while you are deploying Azure SQL database in the class environment? So before we go and directly see the differences between free trial and pay-as-you-go model, let me intro something about Azure SQL database. What is the journey so far? The SQL server being made. So okay, the short story of so far and Azure SQL database intro and what are the service tiers currently available, and let's see what are the major differences you will see with the pay-as-you-go model and free trial subscription. Okay. Yes, the story so far. Being we are on-prem lovers, so a couple of years, it's been a long journey where Microsoft completely, we are strictly at the on-premises. We started with Azure SQL Server 2000, 2005, 2008, 2008, 12, 14, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019. Every version being Microsoft started new enhancement, new improvements is keep on going. When you see lot many enhancement done on the 2012, like always on availability group, column store index, okay, content database. So lot many enhancement and even dynamic quorum, which is introduced from the Windows payload cluster level. So and on 2014, so where Microsoft came up with the new cardinality estimation, been to before 2014. Okay, we are using the cardinality estimation 7.0. From 2014 onwards, we've been using cardinality estimation 1.2. On when you go for 2016, we have lot many features implemented by Microsoft SQL Server, and on 2017, where Microsoft came up with a new innovation. So since been its long journey where we are completely strictly with the Windows flavor. So whatever the SQL version before 2017 is completely on the Windows flavor where we are going to install our SQL Server completely on Windows. From being on 2017 onwards, where Microsoft came up with the new flavor that is Linux, where you can install SQL on Ubuntu, SQL on Red Hat, SQL on CentOS. On 2019, one more innovation where Microsoft came up with concept called where you can install your SQL over the container base. When you go for Docker containers, when you go for Kubernetes containers, so you can install SQL Server over the container. Okay. Now, so this been like a long journey where you've been a couple of working who are working in on premises. Okay, now we are looking for the new product where we are going to deploy our SQL servers in the cloud environment. So when we go for cloud, we have lot many clouds throughout the global, like top leading clouds are Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. So when we as we are a Microsoft lovers, okay, as when we go for strictly with the Microsoft, when we go for Microsoft Azure Cloud, okay, so you can deploy in three mechanisms, like where you can deploy your Azure SQL over Azure VM or SQL over PaaS environment. When you go for SQL on Azure VM, so completely it's like IaaS environment, infrastructure as a service. So it's like a lift and shift mechanism. So however you are working in on-premises, almost it will be similar when you are working SQL on Azure VM. Only the data centers and data you are placing someone else computers. When you specially go to the PaaS environment, so I don't want to access uh, infrastructure. I don't want to worry about the infrastructure. So I need to more focus on my databases, my data. Then we can suggest go for the platform as a service. When we go for platform as a service, so we have two deployments: Azure SQL database, okay, Azure single database, or Azure Elastic Pool, or Azure EMI. So Azure EMI is like a managed instance, which is the recently Microsoft has been introduced, and which is completely strictly for the pay as you go model. So as we cannot go and deploy the managed instance under free trial subscription, it is managed instance is also like a lift and shift mechanism. And one more so earlier we have the Azure SQL data warehouse, which is introduced on SQL Server 2016. So completely so Microsoft Azure SQL database was released in 2010, and performance based tiers released in 2014. Elastic Pools are released in 2015, and Azure SQL data warehouse is released in 2016 year, and Azure MI is released in the 2018. So now to completely Microsoft has been redesigned Azure SQL data warehouse. Now we are completely calling it as a Azure Synapse Analytics, which is released on the 2019. Okay, it's also like a platform as a service. Mostly whenever you are working with the data warehouse, okay, if you want to store the data or you can manage the data, we can go for the Azure Synapse Analytics. And a little intro about Azure SQL database. Okay, so most of the people is already know about what is Azure SQL database, but let me give you a basic intro. Microsoft Azure SQL database is a managed cloud-based provider as part of Microsoft Azure. A cloud database is a database that runs on the cloud computing platform, and access to it is provided as a service. So where Microsoft is providing as a service Azure SQL database, it gives high performance without having to worry about any infrastructure. So we no need to maintain any infrastructure when you go for the Azure SQL database. So Azure SQL database is highly scalable, multi-tenant, and highly available, a platform as a service, or we can call it as a database as a service offering from the Microsoft. Microsoft taken care of the operating system, storage, network, virtualization servers, installation, upgrade, infrastructure management, and maintenance. Everything will be taken care by the Microsoft. We can focus on the how our SQL databases and our data. Like a key features when we go for Azure SQL database. Okay, so like where we have long-term backup retention, we can store up to 10 years backup. And Zero application is configured, where Zero application is a asynchronous replica, uh, where it won't support automatic failover. We cannot group, like it's like a where we can call it as a not with a perfect uh, high availability concept. So it is like a where we can also use it's part of the migrations as well. So automatic performance tuning feature is optimized here, and high availability, like where when you go for high availability, we can configure the failover groups. Zero application is completely compatible in Azure SQL database, but when you go for Azure managed instance, Zero application is not compatible. So, but failure groups is compatible both on Azure SQL database as well as when you go for the Azure managed instance. And automatically backups will be taken uh, by the Microsoft when you go for both Azure SQL database and Azure EMI managed instance. Okay. So when you go for something a interesting flavor, you will see when you go for Azure SQL database, that is service tiers, where we are on premises, where we are using only vCore method. Okay, like a core base. So every resource is independent. But when we go for PaaS environment, especially, okay, so we have when you go for single database or Elastic Pool or serverless. Serverless is completely compatible to the Azure SQL database, but it is not compatible with the managed instance. And serverless is only compatible in vCore method, under vCore, only under general purpose purchasing tier. So when we go for Azure SQL database, we have two service tiers like DTOs and vCore. We already so GTU is like a blend of resources like CPU, memory, and IO. So when you go for DTU service tier, so we have three level of performance tiers. purchasing models like basic, a standard, premium. So under the free trial subscription, you can deploy your Azure SQL database on basic and standard. But if you wanted to deploy your SQL database over premium, you mustn't should purchase your subscription, and we need to go for the pay as you go model. When you go for vCore, so completely, okay, vCore we have general purpose, business critical, and hyperscale. In general purpose, both you can access under Freetail. You can deploy Azure SQL database vCore in general purpose, and business critical hyperscale will be only compatible under pay as you go model. So when we go for managed instance, we have only one service here, that is one purchasing model, that is vCore purchasing model. DTU is only compatible to the strictly to the Azure SQL database. DTU is no more compatible with the Azure YAM. So when you go for vCore in managed instance, we have only two. One is general purpose, one is business critical. One is general purpose, one is business critical. Okay, let me go and see how service tiers, what are the limitations, how much database size can be, how many max v codes. Let me go and validate one. Okay, this is the just overview so of our service tiers in both like Azure SQL database and Azure managed instance. So when we go for Azure SQL database or when you go for Azure managed instance, okay, so especially when we are discussing under vCode, because DTU is completely strictly with the Azure SQL database, but when we go for vCore, vCore is both compatible like Azure SQL database or Azure MI. So especially we are going to discuss today about hyperscale and business critical. So when you go for hyperscale or when you go for business critical or when you go for general purpose, this is completely belongs to the vCore. So general purpose and business critical is applicable for both Azure SQL database and Azure managed instance. But especially when we are discussing with hyperscale, only it's compatible to the Azure SQL database. Azure hyperscale is not compatible with MI managed instance. So when we go for compute size, so when you go for core processors, okay, under general purpose, when you go for Azure SQL database, we can go up to 80 V core. In hyperscale also 1 to 80 core. And when you go for business critical, it's maximum it supports 128 V core processors. When you go for managed instance, you can go maximum up to 80 V core, and with business critical also 80 V core. But currently Microsoft is under preview, so maybe in next future definitely we can see SQL managed instance pool. So currently we have SQL managed instance, single instance. Now SQL Microsoft is currently working with instance pool. Maybe in future definitely we can see the instance pool. Under instance pool, so currently Microsoft is claiming only general purpose. Okay, maybe in future definitely you can see in business critical and hyperscale. In instance pool also we can go maximum for the 80 V cores. 80 V cores. Maybe in instance pool, maybe if Microsoft allowing us to deploy managed instance under free trial subscription, that will be so good. Everyone can work with managed instance under the free trial subscription as well. When you go for storage type, okay, so in general purpose data will be stored in remotely. When you go for hyperscale, uh, uh, try to remote and local SSD storage. Okay, and when you go for business critical, completely your data will be stored on the local SSD. When you go for database sizes, maximum you can go for 4 TB. When you go for general purpose, when you go for business critical, you can go for maximum 4 TB. But under hyperscale, you can go up to 100 terabytes. You can go up to 100 terabytes. When you go for managed instance, now recently Microsoft uh, enhance the storage capacity for the managed instance under general purpose, that is up to you can store 16 terabytes when you specially go for the managed instance under general purpose. But still in business critical you can increase till up to your DB size can be 4 terabytes. And the storage size, as mentioned by Microsoft, where you can go to the 16 terabytes and general purpose. But when you go to the temp DB size, okay, so when you especially working with vCore deployment, okay, so per vCore 32 GB will be allocated to the temp DB under all deployment models like a general purpose or hyperscale or business critical. Okay, so where in Azure SQL database by default every vCore, so Microsoft is going to create temp DB size to 32 gig. So when you go for managed instance for vCore, where Microsoft is referring providing 24 core, 24 GB per core, and up to 4 terabytes you can increase your whenever you are in the business critical. Okay, let me go to the deployment. So first we'll see uh, first we'll try to see what are the major differences we'll see whenever we are under free trial subscription. So currently I connected with the free trial subscription, and let me create a database. Let me create a database. My database name I'm just choosing as a db2, and this is my logical server. If you want, if already existing, okay, you can select the same logical server. If you wanted to create new logical server, you can mention your own logical server KMS, some logical server name as per your application team, VM1, and ESA admin. Okay, mention your password for your SA admin. Okay, and just click on OK. Okay, now you created a logical server, and now this is the one very interesting option where you need to morely focus. What are the compute tiers and storages? When you click on here, earlier, so the dashboard is completely different. So where you will see all the DTUs, and we have to select the vCore, but the dashboard has been redesigned by Microsoft, where you can directly select from here. See, when I connected to the free trial subscription, if my subscription is free trial, you can deploy under DTU. You can deploy only at basic and standard level. Under even standard level also, we have the certain limitations. We cannot go, like maximum you can deploy 3000 DTUs when you go for standard, but you can deploy maximum 10. So when you are in the free trial, maximum 10 20 you can deploy. So when you go for vCore, we can deploy only on general purpose under free trial subscription. But if you wanted to deploy hyperscale or business critical or premium under DTU purchasing model, definitely you need to go for the pay as you go model. Let me show you the comparison of the pay as you go model. So this is my pay as you go model where I wanted to create my database. Let me go and create the database. So I'm selecting resource group, and let me provide you the database name, and let me select the server name. Let me provide the password for my account. Okay. Now let me go to the compute tiers. When you go to the compute tiers, okay. So when you click on drop down, so see the differences between pay as you go model and the free trial subscription. So if you've been part of pay as you go model or the free trial subscription, okay. So if you are under free trial subscription, you can just deploy your databases under general purpose or basic or standard. But if you are under pay as you go model, you can deploy hyperscale, you can deploy business critical, you can also deploy the premium. So when you go for DTU purchasing model. So let me go in detail. So how much maximum size Microsoft is offering for each performance tier. Okay, before we deploy. I'm so sorry. Let me select once again. Let me say admin. Welcome. Okay, we are almost there. When you go for DT, when you go for basic, so when you go for basic, where you can go for maximum 5 DTUs and your database size can be 2 GB. Minimum your when you want to deploy your database in Azure SQL, Microsoft is going to charge 359 rupees. 359 rupees. Minimum to minimum value. So when you go for a standard, maximum you can go to up to 3000 DTUs and maximum your database size can be 1 terabytes where Microsoft is going to charge okay 3,33,702 rupees Indian currency. So when you go for premium, here one interesting concept when you go for premium where you can go maximum minimum is 120 125 DTUs. Okay, minimum your database where Microsoft is if you are reducing your database size also, Microsoft is not charging more for your storage. Microsoft is charging more for your compute services. Compute services maximum you can go for 4000 DTUs and maximum your database size can be 4 terabytes. Maximum your database size can be 4 terabytes. When you go for premium, we have one more advantages that read scale out. You will get the scalable read scale out. You can get it. So when you go for that is completely about your DTU purchasing model. When you go for vCore purchasing model, okay. So in vCore we have general purpose, business critical, hyperscale. General purpose, business critical, hyperscale. When you go for general purpose, so here two compute tiers again. So one is provision, one is serverless. So we'll discuss a lot about the provision and serverless. Okay. So when you go for compute hardware, okay, maximum you can go for up to 80 vCores and maximum your storage can be 4 terabytes. Out of 4 terabytes, your log file size will be 1 TB and remaining 3 terabytes will be your data files. Your data files. So when you go for business critical, when you go for business critical, here where you can go for up to maximum 80 cores and your database size can be 4 terabytes. Almost similar, but where you are storing your data in the local SSD so that it will reduce the latency. It will reduce the latency when you go for the business critical. When you go for business critical, but when you go for hyperscale, on demanding hyperscale is your see in hyperscale, storage costs are calculated based on the actual allocation. Okay, your database size can be maximum grow up to 100 terabytes based on your storage where Microsoft is going to charge. How much per month Microsoft is going to charge? See, storage cost GP per month 7 rupees Indian currency where Microsoft is going to charge, and a maximum you can go up to 80 vCores and you can keep four readable replicas, four readable secondary replicas when you go for hyperscale. So once you deploy, once we select our uh, uh, performance tiers and once you select how many vCores, once you deploy your database, so maximum you are going for 2 cores and you are going for 1 terabytes. So once you deploy your Azure SQL database, then okay, so by default, okay, so by default once you deploy your Azure SQL database. So this is how your main screen dashboard looks like. Here you will get the server name, Elastic Pools, connection string, purchasing tier, okay, and you will get the resource group, a complete about your computing utilization, everything you can start monitoring and troubleshooting. If you want to see the securities, if you want to see the performance, if you want to see automatic tuning is available in performance, and the securities like TDE, Azure Defender for SQL auditing, dynamic data masking, where you can enable over Azure SQL database. By default, TD is enabled at the database. When you configure any database over Azure SQL database, by default, Microsoft is going to enable the TDE. But you will see some kind of differences when you go for TDE part, which we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, once if you wanted to authenticate, if you wanted to connect, so where you need to connect with the logical server, where we need to connect with the logical server. So how we are going to connect? So copy your server, okay, and go to your SQL Server Management Studio. Then click on Connect window. How you are connecting? Just you need to select the SQL Server authentication. As we know that complete PaaS environment is not compatible. Either you go for Azure SQL database or you can go for Azure MI. So Windows authentications are not compatible. Windows authentications are not compatible. Completely, you can connect with the SQL authentication, or you can connect using the Azure Active Directory. We can integrate Azure Active Directory to authenticate to the Azure SQL database once we enable. So this is how your Azure SQL database looks like. So when you expand your databases, so you will see what is my database. When you expand your system databases, just you will see the master database. Then everyone will get confused whether what is my system databases model, MSDB, TempDB. So then we'll start validating whether where is my system databases remaining. We'll try to run sp underscore helpdb, sp underscore helpdb, which is not compatible, which is not compatible when you go for Azure SQL database. Then we'll try to perform select star from sys dot databases, sys dot databases. When you run sys dot databases also, you will see only two databases. One is master, one is model. If you wanted to validate whether our databases are available or not, SQL perf log space. When you run dbcc SQL perf log space, where you will get a clarity that yes, my system databases are available. Master, master, TempDB, MSDB, and what is model database. So whenever you are creating, okay, whenever we are creating in on-premises model database, inherit like same here also you can create a database from the command line as well. So if you wanted to create a database, create database. So if you wanted to create a database too, you can create from the a graphical user interface, which will inherit from the model database when you go for PaaS environment. So you can create the database from the command line as well. Hope hope this video will help you a lot. Okay. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and click the bell icon to see multiple videos. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Sir.